Hello again, fellow shellheads. This is a totally separate video, probably fairly obvious from the Infinity War suit, but this was a one-off costume idea of doing the I Got Nothing Iron Man or Tony Stark scene. This scene at the end of Iron Man 3. He's falling off the scaffolding or whatever and needs a suit to catch him. The Mark 15 comes out, catches him, but not quite in time, and he hits a bunch of things and parts of the suit fall off, and by the time he actually lands down on the ground, this is all that's left. He's lost his sleeve, he's all busted up, and he's just got this arm. So that's the sequence that I was going for. This was part of the one-day build videos, which I'll link right there. The idea was to try and do this in one day, and if you've watched those videos, or if you're gonna watch those videos, I came damn close. The only unfortunate thing was I couldn't paint them at that time. I had everything wired, had all the pieces cut out and ready to put the gloves together and everything. Just needed to paint it before I could go any further, and unfortunately it was too humid or moist in the air, and this paint wasn't dry, and I did some test bits early on in the one-day build, and towards the end of it they still weren't dry, so unfortunately I wasn't able to paint it all in one day, but I was able to paint it and finally glue everything together on another day, and this is the fine result. You can throw it up and palm light comes on. All the electronics, like I said, were part of the one-day build that I was talking about. These all these blue LEDs, these are these I think hopefully I don't say these anymore during this video, but they are blue LED sequin 5-pack from Adafruit. They're really awesome. They're for blue lights, they're pretty bright. They work really well. They use very little power. I have two circuits here. I have these two white lights, and then I think these four knuckle lights. I think those are all on a circuit. I'm trying to remember how I broke this up. I think the thumb might be part of this circuit as well. So it might be these 5 blue lights, and then these 2 white lights on one circuit, and then all the blue lights from the fingers on the second. The thumb might be part of that one. I don't remember now. But they're extremely great. Like I said, there's not a lot of power consumption going on here. I think the fingers on their circuit, I did the math on that. The batteries that are in there should last 102 hours or something like that. I've only had this on for maybe 4 or 5 hours so far, and they're still just as bright as when I first put the batteries in there. So I don't think I'm going to have that big of an issue. I will be redoing all my arc reactors with these sequin lights. They come in multiple colors. They do have white, which if you've seen one of my other videos where I talk about the helmet or show off the helmet, I have the white LED sequins inside the helmet so that when the mask opens up, they come on and light up my face. So if you've seen that, those are the white lights. Like I said, they have other colors like reds and whatnot, but I highly recommend these. And what I was getting at is I'm going to redo all my arc reactors, my Mark 50 or my nanotech arc reactor. This one, I don't know if you can see it in this video because the t-shirt's probably diffusing it, but there are this arc reactor is made out of a tap light, LED tap light. So there's 3 bulbs right in the corners. And what I want to do is rewire them with those LED sequins, just because they're so small. They're like half the size of a Tic Tac. This is a bag of like 2 of them. I'll hold it up a little bit closer. See, those are 2 there, but they're really, really small. And what I want to do with the arc reactors is wire a bunch of them together around the perimeter of the arc reactors, especially my nanotech one, this one here. See if I can turn this on. If I can get at, the on-off switch is on the inside. Forgot about it. Bear with me here. Turn this on. Okay, so this one you might, I don't know how the camera is going to pick this one up, but maybe if I hold it, actually one of the bulbs went out. So that's another thing I don't like about this. There we go. I don't know if you can see the bulbs that close, but in person they stand out quite a bit more, and that's very disruptive. To me personally, I would much rather a nice uniform light. I considered using the LEDs that I have throughout this suit, which are a flatter, more uniform light, but it would take more battery pack. These I can run these on these disc cell batteries fairly decently. I wouldn't do it for long periods of time, but I can get those disc batteries. Disc batteries I'm talking about are the 2032 like key fob batteries. I can get those like really, really cheap on Amazon. I'm pretty sure I have a bag of them right here, so I'm not worried about how quick I'm going to go through them personally, but if you were going to do, like this one here has a separate battery pack that's in the pocket that I can turn off and on, and this one's just on 3 AAA batteries, which is basically, that's what the tap light used to run off of anyway. Excuse me, nose is itchy, but I probably do the same thing with the LED sequins, especially if I'm going to use quite a lot of them. They come in packs of 5, so if I were going to do it, I'd probably do 2 strips of 5 and have 10 lights total, so it's nice and bright. And on something like this, I would probably put them behind the triangle sections so that they light the center up, but they also light the outskirts. And then on like the nanotech one, I would put them all the way around the outside, and maybe a few in the middle, maybe with some extra diffusing behind them, just so that they light the whole thing up nice and bright and equally. They distribute the light equally. But that's what I've learned with you building this and using them on that helmet there. I think that's pretty much the only places I've used these, but they are my new favorite. But back to this, like I said, this was a one-off. I do have the plans from Maxcraft on Etsy, where I got the plans for this. He had the plans for the Mark 15 helmet. I'll probably make the helmet just because I have the paint and the chrome and stuff just to go with it and to fill my nice helmet shelves. But I think that's probably about it for this suit. It is a very unique suit. Both arms are different. Both forearms and gloves are different. The biceps are the same side to side, and then the rest of the suit, I believe, is symmetrical, but it kind of looks like a stealth bomber. Had to study the images quite a bit to make this, but yeah, it's a pretty cool suit. This was, meant to be a nice, easygoing cosplay, just because it's mostly just street clothes that you see here. But yeah, just wanted to show you the final product of the one-day build. This is all hand painted. The lines aren't perfectly straight, but pretty close. If I were to redo anything on here and fix this, I'd probably get like a sticker made for inside here, just because I think my handwritten or hand painted caution isn't as nice as it could be. But I think that's about it. This is all painted with craft store paint. This is Molto liquid chrome, bought on Amazon. It's not really holding up to being rubbed on by this part here, so that's a little bit off, but the rest of the chrome bits here and here, they're holding up really well. But the rest of it is craft store paint. The blue, or the metallic blue, this like slate white, and then this red is the Angelus leather acrylic paints. It was just a really bright red, and I thought that would work perfect for that portion of the suit. But yeah, all hand painted, all finished, all wired up. The fancy move here is the same fancy move that I've done with this glove and my Mark 41 gloves, my bone suit. And it's a tradition that I'm gonna keep going with. The fingers are all elastic strapped to each other, so I can take all of these fingers off and they'll stay together, but they're actually not on my finger. And the idea with this one is they're all glued to the back of the hand. So if I take all the fingers off and the back of the hand off, now all the fingers are attached to the back of the hand, which magnetizes, or I have magnets, on the glove that, lock it to the rest of the glove. But the fingers are all attached there, so I can take that off. The wires go to the battery pack. That's what's holding it in place right now. And now I have, full mobility of my fingers. And I can even take this glove straight off. Get it out from underneath the forearm piece here. And I can take that straight off, and now I have access to my hand. And that's, how that comes off nice and easy. Then the forearm itself can slide off, and I can get to all the battery packs and turn everything off just like that. So that's the end result of my one-day build costume. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any pictures of this when I was wearing it at New York Comic Con. I think there a few people took my photo, so there should be photos out there. Not really sure if they're gonna hit social media or not. It would be cool if they did, but yeah. So that's my Mark 15 Tony Stark cosplay. Thanks for checking it out. Later.